Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So first of all, I would like to thank you all for coming, and a special welcome to the visiting devotees. So today we are going to verify one of the 6 Goswamis. Last Sunday we glorified Gopal Saturday, and this today we'll glorify Ranganath. So let's recite the opening prayers as normally sung by Krishna Goswami Chaitanya. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Sri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghuna
Sri Rupa Sanatana
Gurur Karo Charana Vandan. Gurur Karo Charana Vandan. Yaha Haite Vigna Nasha Abhishta Puran. Yaha Haite Vigna Nasha Abhishta Puran. So the meaning is as Krishna Goswami always offers his obeisances to Pancharatma, Lord Gauranga, Lord Nityananda, Advaitacharya, Gadadhar, and Srivastava. Followed by the sixth Goswami. Who are the sixth Goswami? Sri Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Ranganath Bhatta Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Gopala Bhatta Goswami, and Ranganath Das Goswami. So, if you recite the prayers as composed by Srinivas Acharya, Sad Goswami ISKCON, very beautiful composition actually. But this is simple to recite, what I recited just now from Krishna's Goswami. So we should know the names of the six Goswamis in Vrindavan, at least. So who are they? First, the leader of the six Goswamis is Sri Rupa Goswami. Even though he is younger to Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami is the oldest of all six Goswamis. He is the elder brother of Rupa Goswami. But all the exalted Vaishnavas there decided Rupa Goswami to be glorified as the leader of the six Goswamis. So Rupa Goswami, that's why when we start the prayer, we have this Rupa Sanatana. So first one is Srila Rupa Goswami. So if you look at the picture on the altar there, all over the roof on the picture with six personalities in there, and these are the six Goswami. And we should know the names of the six Goswamis. So Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Sanatana Goswami, and Ranganath Bhatta Goswami is who we are going to glorify today. And then we have Srila Jiva Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Ranganath Das Goswami. Out of these six, Sanatana Goswami is the oldest, and his nephew, who is Jiva Goswami, is the youngest. Followed by Ranganath Bhatta Goswami. In terms of, if we start from the youngest to oldest, then Jiva Goswami is the youngest, followed by elder to Jiva Goswami is Ranganath Bhatta Goswami, who we are going to glorify today. And just a couple of years older to him is Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And then again 2 years older to him is Ranganath Das Goswami. And then 3 years older is Rupa Goswami, then a couple of years older is Rupa Goswami. So this is the hierarchy of the ages, but in terms of his spiritual advancement and recognition, Rupa Goswami is considered to be the leader of the six Goswamis. So it is a great privilege for all of us to be hearing about the glories of these six Goswamis, because they are not simple personalities, they are the direct associates of Lord Gauranga. They are associates, and for all practical purposes, they are the disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. So Ranganath Bhatta Goswami, in 30 minutes or so, we will go through his life and see what inspirations, lessons we can draw from his life for our own benefit. So Ranganath Bhatta Goswami, sometimes it may be confusing because Ranganath Das Goswami, Ranganath Bhatta Goswami, we have Gopal Bhatta Goswami. But in the six Goswami, there are only two Ranganath. One is Ranganath Bhatta, other is Ranganath Das. So Ranganath Das Goswami, we are not talking about him today. Each of the six Goswamis has a particular mood, but the ultimate mood was to surrender and to serve as per the desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is, they were all surrendered to the will of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Ranganath Bhatta Goswami, he is the son of Tapan Mishra. You may have heard in the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when we discuss the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the name of Tapan Mishra comes. And who plays a very critical role in the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, Tapan Mishra is one of those very fortunate personalities to whom Mahaprabhu himself walked. Mahaprabhu from Navadvip Mayapur Dham, he walked to East Bengal, where Tapan Mishra, that today's Bangladesh, where Tapan Mishra was living. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to East Bengal to Tapan Mishra. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was a Nimai Pandit, very young. So he went there with his students and with a mission to spread the holy names of the Lord throughout India. So he chose Tapan Mishra as one of the candidates to fulfill his mission. So Tapan Mishra is a very fortunate soul because he becomes an instrument in the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Tapan Mishra meets with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Bangladesh, and there Chaitanya Mahaprabhu initiates him with Harinam and requests him to move to Varanasi. How many of you have been to Banaras or Varanasi? Anyone? You have? So Varanasi. So this is where Tapan Mishra moves to Varanasi. And 2 years later, Ranganath Bhatta Goswami is born in Varanasi. So just keep in mind, Ranganath Bhatta Goswami has a very glorious beginning. He is born in the family of a devotee who is a disciple of Mahaprabhu and has been picked up by Mahaprabhu for a special role to be played in the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Tapan Mishra moves to Varanasi, and 2 years later Ranganath Bhatta Goswami is born. And then at that time in Varanasi it was Mayavad, prominent, it's prevalent Mayavad there. So Tapan Mishra and Chandrasekhar Vaidya, a couple of devotees were the only Vaishnava there doing Harikatha and Harinam. In that family, Ranganath Goswami appears. And then when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes sannyas at the age of 24, then after having toured South India, and then he decides to go to Vrindavan. And on the way to Vrindavan, then he stops over at Varanasi. So before even Mahaprabhu goes to Varanasi, he had already sent his messenger, his agent, Tapan Mishra, to set the scene for Mahaprabhu to come and spread the holy name. Yeah. It was already there through Tapan Mishra, Ranganath Goswami there, Chandrasekhar Vaidya they are doing Hari. But Mahaprabhu comes now and takes this opportunity to expand that. So firstly Mahaprabhu stayed there for 10 days, and at that time Ranganath Bhatta Goswami is simply 8-9 years old. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, he stays at the house of Chandrasekhar Vaidya, but he spends most of his time at the house of Tapan Mishra. He will eat at the house of Tapan Mishra, and he will do Harikatha, Srimad Bhagavatam, at the house of Tapan Mishra. So Tapan Mishra, Chandrasekhar Vaidya, there are a couple of other devotees, there was a Brahmana from Maharashtra, and Ranganath at that time just Prabhu, just 8-9 years old boy. He will, Mahaprabhu, while Mahaprabhu is staying there for 10 days, Mahaprabhu will leave his remnants for retreat, and Ranganath will clean the place where Mahaprabhu will sit down to have his prasadam, bhoga, and also he will wash his plates. And after Mahaprabhu has taken his meals, while resting, Ranganath will go and massage Mahaprabhu. So, you see, Ranganath Bhatt Goswami is blessed tremendously, right even before his birth. He appears in the family of a devotee who is a very intimate devotee, a disciple of Mahaprabhu. And then Mahaprabhu personally comes to Varanasi and gives him his Vapu association. He allows Ranganath Bhatt Goswami to serve the Lord in terms of, Ranganath was 9 years old, he will help his mother in cooking the meals also. So this way Ranganath Bhatt Goswami is serving Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu will allow him to massage his body as well, his legs. So, and then Mahaprabhu will do Krishna Katha there every day, and Ranganath Goswami will sit there. At that time he is not Goswami yet, he just Ranganath will sit there and listen to Krishna Katha. So he is receiving both Bapu Seva as well as Vani Seva. And then Mahaprabhu goes to Vrindavan, and as you know, Mahaprabhu on the way back into Jagannath Puri, he stops in Prayag. There he meets Rupa Goswami. Having given the philosophy to Rupa Goswami there, then he, on the way back to Puri, again he stops over in Varanasi. And this time, by then, Sanatana Goswami, his elder brother, has already arrived in, also reaches. When Mahaprabhu arrived there, Sanatana Goswami also comes and meets with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed there for 2 months. And for 2 months, every day, this Bapu Seva and Vani Seva, Ranganath Bhatt Goswami is receiving. Now, he is receiving this Seva and he is receiving this Satsanga in the association of great personality. The Supreme Personality of God, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu person is there, Tapan Mishra is there, and great devotee Sanatana Goswami is there, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's personal servant Balabhadra Bhattacharya is there, Maharashtra Brahman there, a few devotees are there. And Mahaprabhu will do Harikatha, Krishna Katha there, and Ranganath Bhatt Goswami is rendering service to Mahaprabhu as well as to his the association of Mahaprabhu, including Sanatana Goswami. So again you see, he is saturating himself with Harikatha and Sadhu Sangha. You will see these 6 Goswamis, they all engage in this Panchanga Bhakti very nicely. Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavad Shravana. Sadhu Sangha is going on, chanting they are doing, Bhagavad Shravana they are doing, Krishna Katha. And then Murti Puja, Mathura Vasa is Radhya Seva. So these 6 Goswamis are Goswamis of Vrindavan. So Ranganath Bhatt Goswami finally reaches Vrindavan later on, and so he will reside in the holy place of Vrindavan, and he will also do the deity worship of Radha Govinda there, the deities of Rupa Goswami. So Ranganath Bhatt Goswami has personal association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he is just a child, about 8-year-old child, and 10 days and then 2 months. And then when Mahaprabhu is deciding to go back to Jagannath Puri, Ranganath Bhatt Goswami wants to go with Mahaprabhu also. But Mahaprabhu asks him to stay back with his parents, to which he continues studying the scriptures of Bhagavatam and continue rendering service to your parents. And his parents are not ordinary parents, they are devotees of the Lord, personally initiated by Mahaprabhu. That is Krishna. So, Ranganath Bhatt Goswami, when he is about the age of 20 years, he becomes kind of more independent adult, and because his heart is constantly hankering for the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is wanting to go to Jagannath Puri to meet with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he receives blessings from his parents and Chandrasekhar Vaidya, and he departs to Jagannath Puri. He goes there to Jagannath Puri and he spends 8 months with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is, so about 10 years later he goes to meet with Mahaprabhu in Jagannath. spends 8 months there, and he doesn't want to come back to Varanasi. But Mahaprabhu says, no, you have to go back and serve your parents. So it is the duty of a son to serve his parents. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching this Varnashram Dharma very nicely here by instructing Ranganath Goswami to not abandon his parents. It's a very important duty to perform for every child to serve his parents. And there he says, so he said, you stay with your parents and serve them nicely as long as they are alive. And then you can come back. So he said, he gives instruction there, clearly he said, अष्टमासरहि प्रभु भट्ट विदाय दिला विवाहन करिय बलि निषेध करिला. So he instructs, this is in Bengali, he says that you go serve your parents, nishedha means prohibited. He says, but do not marry. Life, this way you will be able to serve your parents nicely. So 20-year-old boy, he listens to Mahaprabhu very nicely, and he wants to stay with Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu asks him to go and serve his parents, so he comes back to Varanasi and he serves his parents, and then 4 years later his parents pass away. So now Ranganath Goswami again comes back to Jagannath, because this was the instruction of Mahaprabhu: go and serve your parents, and when you have fulfilled that obligation, when the parents have left this material world, then you are free, you can come and dedicate your time, your life fully in serving me directly. There you are also serving me. It is my instruction to go and serve them. No difference. When you follow the instruction of your spiritual master and not execute his order, that is bhakti. When Lord Krishna asked Arjuna to fight, as per his nature as Kshatriya, that was also bhakti. So here he asked his Ranganath Goswami, go and serve your parents, that is also bhakti, because you are fulfilling the order of Mahaprabhu and spiritual master. Because that's what will please the spiritual master and Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu asked him to go and serve the parents. If he served, Mahaprabhu will be pleased. And what bhakti means? To please the Lord. Any service you do which pleases the Lord, that is bhakti. Any service which you do which does not please the Lord is not bhakti. So here, the point I am trying to highlight here, Mahaprabhu teaches him to strike a balance between family responsibility versus Bhagavad Dharma. Varnashram Dharma plus Bhagavad Dharma, you strike a balance. To serve your parents while you reciting Srimad Bhagavatam daily, while you are chanting Mahamantra and doing sadhu sangha, serve your parents. So both Varnashram Dharma and Bhagavad Dharma very nicely. When his obligation finished in terms of serving his parents because they passed away, then he comes to Jagannath Puri, and this time he dedicates his life to serving Mahaprabhu. So again, first time how now Ranganath Goswami is in Varanasi, sent by Mahaprabhu, serves his parents for 4 years, and then comes back to Jagannath Puri again. So first time when he went to Jagannath Puri, how long he served Mahaprabhu? 8 months. Second time he comes after his parents are passed away, he asks again, this time also he serves Mahaprabhu for 8 months. So Mahaprabhu had been there for 8 months, and this time Ranganath Goswami is serving Mahaprabhu under the guidance of Sarup Damodar and Govinda. So after the 8 months, the first time, something I should mention, the first time when Ranganath Goswami went to Jagannath Puri and stayed with Mahaprabhu for 8 months, when he was asked to come back to Varanasi to serve his parents as long as they are alive, Mahaprabhu gifted his own neck bead to Ranganath Goswami. Mahaprabhu took his neck bead and placed it in the neck of Ranganath Goswami and embraced him, and then they were ready. So this way, Mahaprabhu was constantly residing in the heart of Ranganath Goswami. Ranganath Goswami was carrying the neck bead of Mahaprabhu. So yes. So, and how yeah. And then the second time when Ranganath Goswami comes to Jagannath Puri, again served Mahaprabhu 8 months, and this time then Mahaprabhu asks him to now go to Vrindavan. He said, you go to Vrindavan and serve my mission under the guidance of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, another Goswami there. You go there this time. So again, Ranganath Goswami, obeying Mahaprabhu very nicely and enthusiastically, he departs Jagannath Puri for Vrindavan. But this time Mahaprabhu gives him his flower garland. You know how long this flower garland was? It says, firstly, he instructs Ranganath Goswami, you are going to Vrindavan for a mission. What are your tasks there? Bhagavat Padha Sadalaha Krishna Nam Achire Kari Vena Kripa Krishna Bhagavan. So he says, Ranganath Goswami, Ranganath Bhatt, you go to Vrindavan and join the team of Ranganath, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and these are your activities. What are your activities? Bhagavat Padha. Go and recite Srimad Bhagavatam daily. Bhagavat Padha Sada Allah Krishna Nam, and chant the holy names of the Lord constantly. And this way, Achire Karivena Kripa Krishna Bhagavan. This way, you will receive the mercy of Lord Krishna very quickly. So in this way, he empowers Ranganath Goswami that with his specific instructions, go and serve my mission by spreading, by chanting the holy name nicely, by reciting Srimad Bhagavatam there, and this way these are your two services there, and Krishna will please, and he will give you Krishna prema. And then it said, Etabali Prabhutare Alingana Kaila. So having said this, Mahaprabhu embraced Ranganath Goswami. Prabhuratri Pate Krishna Prema Matta Vaila. And as soon as Mahaprabhu embraced Ranganath Goswami, Ranganath Goswami had ecstatic symptoms. The embrace of Mahaprabhu electrified his body with Krishna Prema. So he exhibited ecstatic symptoms. And when Ranganath Goswami is leaving for Vrindavan, then it says, Chauda Hath Jagannathera Tulasi Ramala Jutha Pana Lila Mahotsava Chila. So, Mahaprabhu has just come back from Jagannath temple, and there the priest had given him, whenever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu go to Jagannath Mandir, they will give him flower garland. And as you know, Mahaprabhu was very, very tall. So it said Chauda Hath. Hath means hand, this long, this much. So, Chauda Hath means 14 times this much. And this is roughly 1.5 feet. This is roughly 1.5 feet, so 21 feet long. This is roughly 6.5 meter long flower garland Mahaprabhu was wearing. And it is said that if you can measure your height with your own hand, and if you are taller than 4 half, then you are a great person. And of course Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was. So, but this is in Chaitanya Charitamrita mentioned like that. So the char hath, if you are as tall as 4 half or taller, then you are a great person. You can try it. You can see whether you are 4 hands taller. So here, Mahaprabhu flower garland is wearing, that is 21 feet long, 6.5 meter long. And he places that flower garland to Ranganath Goswami. And also they had given him pan, betel leaf, but it was not spiced. No chuna, no katha, nothing. It was a simple plain pan, so Mahaprabhu gives him that also. This is his personal blessing. Flower garland as well pan he gives to Ranganath Goswami. Say mala झूठा पान प्रभु तारे दिला इष्ट देव करिमाला धैर्य राखिला. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes that Ranganath Goswami accepted this flower garland as well pan as worshipable items, worshipable deity. He put them in a cloth bag and he carried them with him. And it is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita that even today, if you go to Vrindavan in Ranganath Bhatt ki Haveli, there these items, flower garland and pan, is kept as a worshipable item. And they worship, the followers of Ranganath Bhatt Goswami, they worship. Along with that, Ranganath Bhatt Goswami's paduka, the crown, and the crown made up of wood are also kept there. So if you go to Vrindavan, you can go to Ranganath Bhatt Haveli, you can see these items. Personal flower garland worn by Mahaprabhu, given to Ranganath Bhatt Goswami, along with pan, are there. Amazing. Years ago. So, Ranganath Bhatt Goswami, when he comes to Vrindavan as per the instruction of Mahaprabhu, he dedicates his life doing exactly what Mahaprabhu had asked him. He would recite Srimad Bhagavatam daily and he would chant the holy names of the Lord. Unlike other Goswamis like Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, Ranganath Das Goswami, and Jiva Goswami and Gopal Bhatt Goswami, Ranganath Bhatt Goswami did not write any books in philosophical literature. This was not instruction by Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu instructed him go recite Srimad Bhagavatam and chant Mahamantra, and this is your service. Recite Srimad Bhagavatam to others and chant Mahamantra and engage others in that service. So this is what he did. Where he had instructed others to go and excavate, find the deities, establish temples, write books. So they were all doing whatever Mahaprabhu had asked them. They were very obedient disciples of Mahaprabhu. And it is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Ranganath Bhatt Goswami had such a sweet voice that he would recite Srimad Bhagavatam slokas in 3-4 melodies. 3-4 different melodies, same sloka in 3-4 different melodies. So nicely that it will capture the attention of anybody who hears it. And by reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, he will be in bhava, in trance. And whenever he goes in trance, he will, this flower garland pan he will wear on his neck. He put it. The feet very close to Mahaprabhu. And he will chant and tears would flow from his eyes. Pikaswara kantatate ragera vibhaga ek sloka padhite firaya chari raga. This is what I just described. Chari raga, 4 raga, 4 melodies, and pika swara, parrots, sweet parrots, cuckoo sound, like very sweet sound. He will recite his sloka in 4 different things. Krishnera madhurya guna yabe pade mane pramete vivalahaya kichu nahi jane govindera charane kaila atma samarpana govinda charana ravinda yara pranadhana. So he will recite Srimad Bhagavatam every day, he will chant constantly, and he will also render service to Govinda, deity Govinda, Radha Govinda, who were the deities of Rupa Goswami. So Ranganath Bhatt Goswami in a way treated Rupa Goswami as his spiritual master. Deep respect for Rupa and Sanatana, all other Goswamis also. So it is mentioned that while reciting, his voice will choke out of love, and in ecstasy he will be crying. So he was a Raga Acharya because he was a melodious voice he had. Kirtan Acharya, Raga Acharya. So Ranganath Bhatt Goswami is known for his sweet recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam. being in bhava when he recited Srimad Bhagavatam. Just like Parikshit Maharaj, when he was cursed and declared he will die by snake bite in 7 days, Parikshit Maharaj went in the assembly of Vaishnavas, requests Sukadeva Goswami to speak Srimad Bhagavatam. He said, doesn't matter, let snake bite me. Let snake bite me. Doesn't matter. Please recite Srimad Bhagavatam. I want to hear Krishna Katha. So he was in power. Nothing around him will disturb him. He was deep attachment for Lord Krishna. Why not? He was still Lord Krishna while he was in the room. And he was searching for that, and here he gets the Bhagavad. Dedicates his full attention to hearing Krishna Katha from the mouth of Sukadeva Goswami. Here, in the same rapt attention, same bhava, Ranganath Bhatta Goswami is reciting the same Srimad Bhagavatam for the benefit of others. This is the power of reciting and hearing. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that if we glorify the 6 Goswamis and follow in their footsteps and recite Srimad Bhagavatam with faith and veneration, we will advance in bhakti very nicely and quickly, and the miseries of our life will be mitigated also at the same time. This is so powerful. Another thing, quality of Ranganath Bhatta Goswami worth noticing is that he would not waste any of his time in Gramya Katha or gossips. He will not tolerate any gossip at all. He will not pay any attention. He will not listen to it. He was such an advanced devotee that he will see that everybody is trying its level best in rendering the devotional service for the Lord. So Vaishnava Prabhu is very generous. And he was a very simple-hearted person because he simply followed whatever Mahaprabhu asked him, and he did exactly what he was asked. And even though he had the power and knowledge and potential to write books, but he did not do so because he was not asked to do so. So scholarly achievement or shastric knowledge is one thing, but applying this in our own life and realizing that knowledge is another. Ranganath Bhatta Goswami is an example of the personality who has realized Srimad Bhagavatam. The conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam, the very last verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, ends with declaring that everything culminates in chanting the holy names of the Lord. And that's exactly what Ranganath Bhatta Goswami was doing. He was reciting Srimad Bhagavatam and he was experiencing the bliss by chanting, by living the conclusions of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is chanting the holy names. He will, I'll quote this verse which is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, the one I mentioned here, the last verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the conclusion of the 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, is that Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papo Pranashanam Ramo Dukkha Samanasa Tamanamami Harim Param. Translation: I affirm my respectable obeisances unto the Supreme Lord Hari, the congregational chanting of whose holy names destroys all sinful reactions, and the offering of obeisances unto whom relieves all material sufferings. So, this is what Ranganath Bhatta Goswami was doing. He teaches by his personal example that we should daily recite Srimad Bhagavatam, we should daily chant the holy names of the Lord. That will please Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very much. And avoid any Vaishnava Prad. And yeah. So, what another thing I would like to mention also is life, that when Ranganath Bhatta Goswami left his body, as you know, sannyasis are buried because their body, their Siddha Deha, their spiritualized body, they are not burned. But in case of Ranganath Bhatta Goswami, it was Muslim rule at the time. So Jiva Goswami, because by the time Ranganath Bhatta Goswami leaves his body, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they have already left. Jiva Goswami was the leader of the group there in Vrindavan at the time, and then he declared that Ranganath Bhatta Goswami's body should not be buried because Muslims might dig it up and chop him and just, treat his body very disrespectfully. So therefore, he advised his body to be burnt out of fear of Muslims' atrocities. You cannot underestimate what they can do. What they were doing at the time was absolutely atrocious. So he was burnt, his body was burnt, and the ashes from his cremation was then kept in two places. In Vrindavan, there is 64 Samadhi in Goswami area. So his ashes are kept there in the 64 Samadhi, and also some ashes are kept at Govardhan, Radhakund. Teen Samadhi, it's called Teen Samadhi. So there also, if you go to Radhakund, just very nearby, you see the Samadhi of this Goswami. So the Teen Samadhi, that his ashes are kept there, Ranganath Bhatta Goswami, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, and Ranganath Das Goswami. So you go there. Next time you go to Vrindavan, and when you go to Govardhan Parikrama or Radhakund Shankur, please make effort to see the Samadhi of this great personality. Go and pray there and find very transcendental vibration there. Last time when I was there, I made a special effort to have the darshan of these great acharyas there. So Ranganath Bhatta Goswami's ashes are kept in near Radhakund in this Teen Samadhi, along with Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Ranganath Das Goswami, also in Vrindavan, in 64 Samadhi area. So I would like to stop here and just recap with your help what we have learned about Ranganath Bhatta Goswami. So, who was his father? Tapan Mishra. And how many, in terms of occasions, how many times he met with Mahaprabhu? Ranganath Bhatta Goswami? One time, two times, three times? Three times. First time where? When he was?
In Varanasi.
First time in Varanasi when he was just a child, about 8-9 years old. Then first time he had association with Mahaprabhu for 10 days. Then second time he went to Jagannath Puri, 8 months. At that time his parents were still alive. Mahaprabhu asked him to go back, serve your parents. And then third time, again in Jagannath Puri. For how long? 8 months. 8 months, good amount of association. And then rest of the time, Ranganath Bhatta Goswami spends in Vrindavan, nearly 40 years. Ranganath Bhatta Goswami, he was in this material world for 74 years. So he was born in 1505 and he left his body in 1579. So he was there for 74 years. For 40 years he was in Vrindavan under the guidance and in the association of great personality like Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, as long as they were alive, and then Gopal Bhatta Goswami and Ranganath Das Goswami and Jiva Goswami. So what did you strike most about Ranganath Bhatta Goswami in your assessment? Hearing of his life from before birth, he had the association of great personalities. Throughout his life, he was in touch with great personalities, with Sir Mahaprabhu. And what are the key, what is the mood of Ranganath Bhatt Goswami? What do you think of him? Pastor.
He was constantly serving. Whether it was his parents, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sikh Goswamis, it was always under the service.
Very nice. So he was always serving, but not serving whimsically. He was serving under the guidance of superiors. And who was his superior? Mahaprabhu himself. And of course, while he was serving his parents. And his parents are not ordinary parents, they are devotee parents. So yes, he is serving as per the instruction of Mahaprabhu and his parents and the Goswamis, other Goswamis in Vrindavan. And Ranganath Bhatt Goswami is an embodiment of Srimad Bhagavatam, because he was in Bhava when he was inside the Srimad Bhagavatam. Tears will flow from his eyes. So he is a living example of Srimad Bhagavatam. Through reciting, through kirtanam, he was experiencing Bhava. He was in Bhava experiencing Krishna prema through kirtanam. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, so he preaches the value, the importance of Shravanam and Kirtanam. He is speaking and also hearing at the same time. And others are also hearing. So that's the power of Shravanam and Kirtanam.
Is there any mention of who he was, maybe in the spiritual world?
Yes, that's an important question, Prabhu. Thanks for reminding me. So, Ranganath Bhatt Goswami in Krishna Lila, it is mentioned in Gaura Des Deepika by Kavi Khanapurna that Ranganath Bhatt Goswami was one of the manjaris. And what kind of manjari? Raga manjari, singing manjari. He has such a sweet voice that his service was to sing and serve, please the Lord. And this is what his mood. Mahaprabhu engaged everyone according to the nature. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, he is a Supreme Personality, he knows that I am Radha and Krishna, and he was, Radha Manjari or Ras Manjari, and gave him that duty to recite beautifully Srimad Bhagavatam and attract everyone to Srimad Bhagavatam through your beautiful recitation. So he was Radha Manjari.
Really cherishing Mahaprabhu's Mahaprasadam.
Yes, Mahaprabhu blessed him so many times. I mean, if you meditate upon it, you see, just as a child, 8-year-old child, he is washing the place of Mahaprabhu, he is cleaning the places where Mahaprabhu will sit down to have prasadam, and he is cooking, helping his mom cook meals for Mahaprabhu, and personally he will massage Mahaprabhu every day when Mahaprabhu takes rest. Jai Gauranitai ki Jai. So these Goswamis inspire us on the path of pure bhakti. We are blessed to be part of this organization through the mercy of Mahaprabhu, that we are able to hear glories of Spirit Personality like these Goswamis. And Srila Prabhupada built this ISKCON movement in such a way that we can perform the 5 topmost activities of Bhakti, Panchang Bhakti, right, being connected to the temple. Sadhu Sangha, this is what we are doing. Bhagavat Shravan, we are hearing Krishna Katha. And Nama Kirtan, we'll be chanting, we are chanting, this is what Srila Prabhupada has asked us to do, and we'll be chanting again during Kirtan. And of course, when devotees gather together, that place turns into Vrindavan. Mentally, conscious wise. Of course, there is physical Vrindavan there, but wherever Naham Tistham Vaikunthe, Lord says to Narmuni, I am not where, what is it? Yatta Gayanti Mad Bhakta, wherever my glories are sung, devotees, that's where I am. Yeah, like that. So, Matravas, which is Vrindavan, and Murti Puja, Murti Seva, we have Gaurita, and by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, the instruction of Srila Prabhupada and his disciples and grand disciples. We are also fortunate enough to have deities at home, and not at least we can have picture, so we can render some Vapu Seva to the picture, to the deity. So these are the 5 activities of which keep us in the mood of bhakti. Any question, comments? Anything I missed? If you remember anything else about Ranganath Swami? If not, then it's just on time, 6 o'clock. We will Srila Prabhupada always finished his class with kirtans and bhajan. So, is it okay if we just sing one for 5 minutes? Just something to glorify 6 Goswamis and Gaurita, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Guru. You can just sing that. Is that okay? Play kirtan, then you can play with your friends after. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo
Tum Bina Tera
Big